Hop, and it's your player partner, Mack B. I'm back at it, back in the building. Sports Hop Media Podcast, episode 68. I'm in the building. And before we go any further, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate all the love here at Sports Hop. Solomon is in the building. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Ready to do this thing. Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're going to dive right in. We got a packed show today. We're going to land in the AFC. We've got the AFC Championship game going down in the Mile High City, baby. And I'm so excited. My Denver Broncos squeaked by the Buffalo Bills 33-30 and sent Josh Allen and the Bills home. And speaking of being sent home, the Bills have gotten rid of Sean McDermott, who I thought was a great coach. Bad move. We'll get to that on another show. But in the end of the day, the Broncos move on. They will face the Patriots. Shout out to Mike Vrabel and Drake May and that New England team. So very interesting matchup. A lot of scenarios happening, as everybody has found out. But by this time, you better know. Bo Nix is out, broken bone in his ankle. Happened on the third to last play of the game. So no Bo Nix. Jarrett Stidham is going to get the nod. Sean Payton thinks highly of Stidham, and I certainly have a lot to break down on him pertaining to the Broncos. But we're going to go to the defensive side of the football first. And I want to talk about the Denver defense. Shout out to Vance Joseph, former Denver Bronco coach. He had a stint. I think he coached for 1 year with the Broncos a few years back, but now he's the defensive coordinator. He's been making a lot of magic and a lot of things happen in the Mile High City. Denver, hands down, top 3, top 4 defenses in the league. They've been pretty consistent all year. Despite the fact that Buffalo hung 30 on them, they managed situationally to make the plays when it matters most. But at the end of the day, defense wins championships. We hear it all the time, right? It's more than a cliche. It's a fact. So look at all these teams from back in the day. Shout out to the Ravens back in the day when they had Trent Dilfer at quarterback, and they won it all. Denver 10 years ago, when they played a Carolina team in San Francisco against Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers, and you had Von Miller coming off the edge and wreaking havoc in the backfield of the Panthers. He ended up winning the MVP. Denver ended up winning the game. Peyton Manning was able to capture his second Super Bowl title. But I say that to say this. Defense has proven to win titles, and it still can win titles. And there's a lot of pressure on the Denver defense. And I think if they show up and they make things happen, I think Denver can pull this off. But it's all predicated on Nick Bonito, the entire defense, but some of these standout players. Nick Bonito, Patrick Surtain II on the back end. Riley Moss has to show up on the other side, okay? Because sometimes in situations he gets flagged for pass interference. I still think he's a good defensive back. But Hufanga, my man, who plays kind of like, he reminds me, Solomon, of like an old school vintage Troy Polamalu. Remember him?
Yeah,
for the Steelers with the hair flying around.
How could you not?
Him flying around all over the field. I mean, I like Hufanga's game, and he's been doing his thing. I like how he flies around and makes big plays at crucial moments. So the Denver defense has to show up. They led the NFL this year in sacks. If I'm not mistaken, I think they had about 68 sacks for the year. But whatever the number was, it was number 1 in the National Football League. They didn't reach the Bears' all-time record. They came close. But shout out to the Denver defense. Shout out to Vance Joseph. They have to show up big time in order for this to happen and for Denver to pull it off, playing a backup quarterback in Jarrett Stidham. Now, we're going to go back to the offense in Stidham and Sean Payton, who I know is a great game planner, and I know that he'll have the Broncos ready. So Stidham is somebody who's played in the league, I believe, about 5 years. He's played in like 20-plus games. Drafted by the New England Patriots initially in the 4th round. He played for the Raiders for a brief stint. Last time he suited up, he actually played against the Raiders as a Denver Bronco in 2023. So he's got 8 touchdowns all time. He's got 8 picks. He's got a quarterback rating of 78. He's thrown for 1,422 yards. He can throw the football. He's a different type of player. So obviously the Broncos offense is going to change significantly with Stidham getting the start. He's a more in the pocket thrower. He doesn't really have the athleticism to run and escape like Bo Nix does, but that doesn't mean he can't get the job done. Basically, Denver's not going to ask him to go beyond his means. I think that Sean Payton will structure a game plan that complements Stidham's strong suits, get him comfortable, start the game off, throwing the football and maybe stretching the field because you got Cortland Sutton on the outside. You got some key players on that Denver offense that can make things happen. Speaking of that offense, I think R.J. Harvey, and if they can get J.K. Dobbins back, he's been out for a significant amount of time with a foot injury, but if R.J. Harvey and Dobbins can run the ball, open up the passing lanes, play action for Stidham, I think the Broncos have a great chance to win the game because Drake May can't beat you if he's on the bench, right? Best way to keep a hot quarterback on the sidelines is run the football, control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, make the right plays at the right time. Hopefully Stidham can also, audible and read the line of scrimmage and make some key plays situationally. I feel good about this game. I know everybody's leaning on the side of the Patriots. I'm telling you right now, this game, Solomon, is going to be closer than many people think. Okay, I have yet to deliver my prediction. I'll get to that here in a moment. But with everything happening in the Mile High City and the Broncos in the AFC Championship game on the cusp of playing in Super Bowl 60, what are your thoughts on this matchup here now that we've got Bo Nix sideline, we got Jarrett Stidham starting for the Broncos? They may have one of their top running backs coming back in J.K. Dobbins, but they still got that vaunted Denver defense. What are you thinking here early on before the game this weekend?
Well, I agree with you. They're going to have to depend on their running game to make it easier for their backup quarterback. I mean, if they can run the ball effectively, which opens up the play action pass, which opens up the down the field opportunities, I think they'll have a chance. If you look at these two teams, they're pretty evenly matched, other than the quarterback. They're both top ranked defenses, both have explosive offenses, but that's the way the Denver Broncos can equalize if they can run the ball and just create some opportunities for Stidham to capitalize on.
Right. We're going to go to the other side, and we're going to talk about the New England Patriots and first-year head coach Mike Vrabel. What a turnaround in New England. I got to give them love. It's all love over here. Ain't no haterade being sipped on over here with Sports Hop, baby. We recognize greatness. So Mike Vrabel came over from the Titans. The Patriots last year, prior to him arriving, they won 4 games. They went 4-13 under Gerard Mayo, former Patriots player. Many people question the move to get him out of there and clean house after just 1 year. But when you got somebody like Mike Vrabel, a former Patriot player as well, and a great one at that, well respected around the league, knows how to coach, a player's coach, knows how to situationally make in-game adjustments. So they won 14 games in his first season. And I know I mentioned Kyle Shanahan on this show for Coach of the Year, but Mike Vrabel, hands down, more than likely is going to win the award, and he deserves it. It's well-deserved. I can't front. But Sunday in the Mile High City, Drake May, this is only his second year in the league. He's growing right before our very eyes. I like his game. I think there's some things that he needs to work on. This guy has 14 fumbles in the last 19 games. Now, New England has been fortunate to recover most of those, but that streak of luck is not going to last forever. So he's got to protect the football. If Drake May protects the ball, plays a clean game, the Patriots play a clean game, they got a great chance to win it. Not saying that that's going to be the final outcome now. Don't get it twisted. We're going to get to that here in a moment. But Drake May has to protect the football, has to avoid the mistakes, right? And so we're going to see what he's all about, because that Denver defense is going to rush the passer. I think they're going to definitely blitz, in certain situations. So we're going to see how Drake May reacts and if he can handle this. But he does make plays with his feet. He's mobile. He can move around. He can scramble outside of the pocket. So, again, I like what he can make happen. He's got some great receivers on the outside. Stephon Diggs. You got Kayshon Boutte on the other side. And you got the tight end, Henry Hunter, who's been in the league making things happen. So he had 7 touchdowns this year, over 700 yards receiving. So the Patriots do have some dangerous weapons on the outside. They can stretch the field with the best of them. But I also believe on the defensive side of the ball, they have to play a key role in terms of getting to Jarrett Stidham, because he's a pocket passer. He's not going to really scramble and move around much. I hope I'm wrong when I say that, by the way, but we're going to see what happens. But shout out to the defense. You got Harold Landry III. You've got Clavon Chasen. These guys, 7.5 to 8.5 sacks this year. These are some great linebackers, and they can get to the passer. And we're going to see what happens at the line of scrimmage. Whoever can control the line of scrimmage, control the trenches, dominate that line of scrimmage is going to win the football game, but also mitigate the mistakes, right? So at the end of the day, who do I trust more at the quarterback position? Is it Jarrett Stidham, or is it second-year player Drake May, who's got 14 fumbles in the last 19 starts? To be honest with you, neither one, because when you have that many fumbles, you're suspect. Jarrett Stidham hasn't, thrown an NFL snap in 2 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, the line for this game, the Patriots are a 5-point favorite coming into Denver. Man, the disrespect is at an all-time high for my Bronco boys. 5-point dog at home, number 1 seed in the AFC. Okay, their home record this year, they went 8-1 at home. They lost 1 game at home to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But nonetheless, I don't like the disrespect here from my Bronco boys, okay? I know Bo Nix is out. We already understand that. But Jarrett Stidham, Sean Payton, the Denver defense is going to make some things happen. And I'm going to take the Broncos with the points. That's way too many points. I don't think they're going to cover that. And at the end of the day, I also believe that Denver has some mile-high magic left in the tank. And I think the Broncos are not only going to cover the 5, I think they're going to win it outright and punch their ticket to Super Bowl 60, baby. Woo! What you thinking, Solomon? Talk to me. I'll talk back, player.
I'm not sure. I was looking at this game, and I don't really know, but because I don't have a favorite of either one of these teams. But
yeah.
People are looking at the Patriots and saying, is this the next dynasty? Can the Patriots return? Can they take over where Kansas City has sort of been the last few years and start, the era number 2? And I think a lot of people think that can happen with it. They got a young quarterback, and this would be the start of that. It'd be a nice story. But like you said, on the other hand, Denver is in position to form its own dynasty, assuming they get their quarterback back and he's healthy and he can still, move the ball and run and everything like he has before. So it's a toss-up for me.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't have a pick for this.
Okay. He's pleading the 5th on that one, but 5 points at home. Denver's been dominant at home. Thin air, high altitude. I don't know if that's going to play a role or not, but the fact that they're at home in the Mile High City, Denver is definitely viable here. Take the Broncos with the points. That's all I'm going to say. I think they're going to win it outright, but if you do anything on the Denver side, at least take Denver with the points. We're going to move on. We're going to go to the NFC Championship game. Shout out to the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. You got Sean McVay on one side with the Rams. You got Mike McDonald on the other side with the Seahawks. These two teams don't like each other, and they play in the same division. This is going to be the 3rd time this year that the Rams and Seattle are going to face off. And this is going to be a dogfight up in the Pacific Northwest. Man, oh man, I can't wait to see this. With Seattle with that vaunted defense, you got the Rams with that explosive offense. So many weapons for the Rams and Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. Their chemistry is just out of this world. They did get by the Bears. They were tested. The Rams have been on the road the whole entire playoffs. So for them to go in Seattle as an underdog, I feel good about it. We'll get to the prediction here in a moment. But let's start with the Rams, okay? The offensive line has to protect Matthew Stafford because that front four of Seattle, these guys are monsters. They're hogs on that front line. They're going to basically get to Stafford, and he's going to be in for a long, long day if they don't protect the quarterback. But I think Sean McVay has the right game plan in place for the Rams, and I think they can kind of mitigate that pass rush. They better if they expect to get that dub and move on to San Francisco for Super Bowl 60. So it all starts with the offensive line of the Rams, but on the outside, you got Puka Nacua. You've got Davante Adams, okay? And don't forget about Higbee, the tight end. A lot of people sleep on him, but he gets open a lot. He can make some big plays down the field. That's my dark horse right there who's going to make a difference, particularly late in the game. Watch out for Tyler Higbee, but I love Davante Adams. What can you say more about Puka Nacua, right? One of the most dominant receivers in the game. Davante Adams has been in the league for a long time. He still can get it done. So I think the Rams are still going to pose a threat to the secondary on the back end of the Seahawks. I like what they have done thus far, but they cannot turn the football over and expect to go up in Seattle and win the football game. You got to play clean football. You got to mitigate the mistakes. Sean McVay will have the Rams ready. Trust me, you already know what time it is. And speaking of what time it is, on the other side, on the defensive side of the football, you got Cameron Curl, you got Quentin Lake. The secondary is going to be very, very important to stop that Seattle passing attack. I think that they can get it done. I really feel good about the Rams' chances. Again, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to be very close. I don't see a blowout here at all on either side. Now, when it comes to Seattle and Sam Darnold and Mike McDonald, what are they going to do offensively? Well, you got Jackson Smith and Jigma on one side. You got Cooper Kupp on the other side. These boys can play now. And Cooper Kupp, as everybody knows, Solomon, former Ram player, first year up in Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. It may be year 2, but I think he just got there this year. But nonetheless, what are the chances to go up against your former team that you won a Super Bowl with, and now you're with Seattle? No one saw the Seahawks getting this deep and going on a run like this. At least I didn't. Many people didn't see that happening. But Seattle's a dangerous team. I think that Sam Darnold can prove all the haters and the doubters wrong. This is really a big career-defining moment for Darnold, right? Because in the past, he's been heavily criticized when he was in New York, and then he got shipped off to Carolina. He really didn't do much when he was a Carolina Panther. He spent a year in San Francisco under Kyle Shanahan, and now he's the starter and the leader in that locker room for the Seattle Seahawks. He's one game away from playing in the Super Bowl, so we're going to see what Sam Darnold is made of, especially when it counts. This is a big pressure situation, a big pressure moment for him. What is he going to do to prove everybody wrong? Can he get it done? I believe he can get it done, but the question is, will he get it done? Stay tuned. We'll see what happens, right? The game is a few days away. The Seattle running game will also play a key factor in this matchup in terms of offensively up front in the trenches. Can they open up the running game? Can they allow Sam Darnold to get play action and be able to stretch the field? That remains to be seen. Who do I trust more on the defensive side of the ball? I trust the Seahawks, of course, in that dominant defense. The Rams can be a little bit suspect. They've shown it in the playoffs. Carolina I believe they put up 31 on the Rams. They exposed the secondary on the back end. There was some vulnerability there. Chicago late in the game also exposed the Rams secondary. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Offensively, I'm never worried about the Rams, right? Defensively, I'm never worried about the Seahawks because they're dominant. The only thing I'm concerned with Seattle is if Sam Darnold can minimize his mistakes, play clean football, stay upright, and make the right decisions at the right time. Who do I trust more in the fourth quarter if this game comes down to a one-score game? Obviously, the answer is Matthew Stafford. Big game experience, already won a title, has proven it time and time again he can get it done. Not to say that Sam Darnold's not capable, but if you're asking me who would I trust more and who would I pick in key moments to pull out a win late, I got to go with Matthew Stafford and the Rams. So the betting line for this game is 2.5. Okay, the Rams are a 2.5 point dog. I personally think this is clutch time. This is basically a historical moment for the Rams and Sean McVay. And I think the Rams go into Seattle and win number 3 on the road. I think they win it outright, swallow the 2.5, take the Rams. I think they knock off the Seahawks, and I think it's going to be a close game. I'm looking like Rams 27, Seattle 24, something along those lines. Matthew Stafford leads the Rams down the field late to get it done. And I think the Rams are going to face my Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 60. Solomon, what are your thoughts on this NFC Championship matchup and Seattle and Darnold? And can he prove the doubters wrong here? And what are you thinking with Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Stafford has the experience to pull this off. But yeah, I think this is going to be a close game, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Okay.
I think you're going to have, you got two pretty good defenses here, but you got two amazing offenses, and man, what Seattle's shown in the running game recently, they look good with, both of their running backs, and, they played very well. So that's going to open up their passing game quite a bit. I feel like, just the feeling is they're a more put together team, but I feel like the Rams just tend to get lucky. They're just luckier. And, a lot of times that comes from having that experience, in Matthew Stafford. So I expect it to be a high scoring game, but it's one of those games where whoever has the ball last is going to win. That's what I'm thinking.
All right. Well, we shall see what happens. Shout out to both teams, the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks, on a great season. It's a shame that one team has to basically go home. We'll see how it plays out. So the Broncos are the first game, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, West Coast time. They start at noon against the Patriots. And then the Rams are going to face off against the Seahawks at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to see how it plays out. I'm excited. I definitely will be in front of the TV on Sunday. So please do not call my phone. I will be busy. Do not disturb mode will be in full effect. We're going to move on. There's a coaching carousel going on around the league in case you haven't been paying attention. A lot of coaches are getting canned or walking away. Mike Tomlin is gone from Pittsburgh. Sean McDermott is fired and gone from Buffalo. That's still a shocker to me. We have yet to hear publicly from Josh Allen pertaining to that situation. And speaking of situations, we got a situation in the ATL, the dirty, dirty baby boy, down in the dirty South. Shout out to Atlanta, one of my favorite cities to visit. I got family down there. You already know what time it is. What up, fam bam? But Kevin Stefanski is the new coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I repeat, fired Cleveland coach Kevin Stefanski has now been hired by the Atlanta Falcons. That's a head scratcher, right? I'm like, say it isn't so, Solomon. Say it isn't so, man.
Yeah, that was crazy that it went so fast too. That was just crazy.
Does it make sense to you?
It doesn't, just because of the reputation of Cleveland over the years. I mean,
Yeah.
You're losing in Cleveland and you get fired from Cleveland. That's like career ending, or at the very least, that's going back to coordinator. But to be snapped up by another team, and
very fast.
One of the first hiring announcements too. They didn't even wait to see who was on the board. I mean, you had Harbaugh. I don't know what Tomlin's doing, but now you had McDermott. You got some good coaches out there, and for them to snap him up, I just wonder what they saw in him in Cleveland that said, okay, this is the guy for our team.
Right. Well, shout out to the Falcons. I don't like the move. I know Matt Ryan is working in the front office now with the organization, former Falcon quarterback, Hall of Fame, player. But it's a head scratcher to me. I mean, first and foremost, the way Kevin Stefanski mishandled the Shedeur Sanders, the Dylan Gabriel situation, he literally, in my opinion, did everything he could to sabotage Shedeur Sanders and really didn't give him a chance until there was no other option, because Joe Flacco was traded to the Bengals. Deshaun Watson is still sidelined, and Dylan Gabriel had a concussion. The only way Shedeur Sanders saw the field was through situations where they didn't have a choice. They had to play him. Now, he went, if I'm not mistaken, 3-4 as a starter. He played in 7 games, but the way that Stefanski managed and handled that situation showed me a level of unprofessionalism, just really a level of ineptitude, right? You're a head coach in the National Football League. You got to lead by example. You got to be a leader of men. You got to be able to connect with players. I didn't see the connectivity on the Cleveland sideline during the season with or without Shedeur on the field. I just didn't see it. It was a grease fire in Cleveland. They fired him for a reason. I know the man had 2 previous Coach of the Year wins. He did win Coach of the Year 2 years, but that doesn't mean anything right now. This is a now league, okay? It's not about what you did before. What are you doing for me now? What have you done for me lately? Shout out to Janet Jackson. Remember that one. But at the end of the day, the Falcons make a questionable hire move. I can't hate on Atlanta. I like how they finished the year strong and they won 4 straight games. It wasn't enough to save Raheem Morris's job. But the Falcons have a new coach. We'll see how the city and the fans feel about that. I'm already hearing some rumblings in the ATL. I don't think they like it very much. But we're going to see what Mr. Stefanski can do down in the dirty South. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to the Big Apple. Shout out to John Harbaugh, the new head coach of the New York Football Giants. They hired him. There were some things that they had to work out contractually speaking. So the official announcement took a little bit longer than many people thought. But John Harbaugh is the new head coach in New York. He's got Jackson Dart. He's got Cam Scatterboo. He's got some talented players. Malik Neighbors, who is going to come back from an injury. But I like the Giants roster, Solomon. I really believe New York can get it together. They just needed the right leader of men. They needed the right guy for the job. And I think John Harbaugh, hands down, is a great coach. He's got a 60% winning percentage all time. He's won 60% of his games. He was with the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, for 18 years. I think his all-time record is like 193 and 123. 193 and 124 all time. So the man knows how to coach football. I think he can be a leader in that locker room. I think this is going to heavily benefit Jackson Dart, and watch his play on the field going into the next season and in the next few years. The NFC East is pretty much up for grabs, in my opinion. I mean, the Commanders are nowhere to be found, at least this year. They didn't really play well. The Cowboys are basically the Cowboys, right? A revolving soap opera, right? Every year, it's just the same old drama. And then you got the Eagles, who they need to make some changes in-house and kind of see where they are. So I think the door's open for the Giants where they can compete. I think you give Harbaugh at least 3 to 4 years to turn it around. But I'm confident that he can make it happen. So I like the hire in New York, biggest media market in the country. I think Harbaugh, with all his coaching pedigree, he can get it done. I think the Giants are going to be well respected moving forward. and Big Blue is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next few years. What are your thoughts on this hire, Solomon? And they bring Harbaugh over to the Big Apple. What are you thinking here?
I really like it. I think for the most part, John Harbaugh is a stabilizing presence. I mean, you don't spend 18, 19 years in a city and not establish a culture. And I think that's what the Giants need to get back to. They need to get back to the culture of winning football, and they need stability to do that. And I think he brings that. I think he'll put the right pieces in place to get, to make Jackson Dart better, to build around that defense. That defense, they've been storied over the years, and they need to get back to having that reputation of being, where people just don't mess with it. You can't run against them. Yeah, you got to be feared. So I think as long as John Harbaugh has that gumption to continue to coach, I think this is a perfect hire for this team.
Well, shout out to the Giants organization. I think they got the right hire. I think he's a great fit in New York. It remains to be seen how they do on the field, but I think they're going in the right direction. So we'll see what happens in the Big Apple, but I'm happy for Harbaugh. Congratulations. And last but not least, we got former defensive coordinator of the 49ers, former Jets head coach, Robert Salah, is back in the coaching ranks. He lands in Nashville, Tennessee with the Titans. Very interesting move for Salah. I like him as a coach. He has a defensive-minded background. And speaking of defense, the Titans have been horrible on the defensive side of the ball. It was a miserable year for Tennessee. I believe they ended up winning 3 games. I think they went 3-14 this year, if I'm not mistaken, with Cam Ward at quarterback. I think Cam Ward can play. I think he needs the right kind of leadership in the locker room. I think Robert Salah, even though he's more of a defensive-minded coach, I think that his experience can benefit Cam Ward. So I think Cam Ward can become a better player because you have the organization getting better, right? And getting behind him. But I still believe this is a rebuild here in Nashville. I think the Titans are probably 4 to 5 years away from really competing in the AFC South. You still got Jacksonville in that division. You got Houston, who isn't going anywhere, okay? And you got the Colts, who are a decent team. So questionable move in my part in terms of Salah already jumping at an offer. Not criticizing the move. I'm not mad at him. The man can coach. I don't think he got a fair chance in New York when he was with the Jets. But I think if he would have waited around, there may have been something better for him. What are your thoughts here? Because he's also facing his arch nemesis, Liam Cohen, the Jacksonville Jaguars coach. They exchanged some words earlier in the year, and it wasn't nice pleasantries on the field. So he's going to face his nemesis twice a year. I like the drama. I like everything that's going to be brewing in Nashville between Duval. Shout out to Duval County and Jacksonville. I still got to come see y'all and pull up, right? But what are you thinking here with the hire of Robert Salah in Nashville with the Titans? Do you like it?
No, I don't like it. And I'll tell you why. I feel like he is stepping into the same thing he stepped into with the Jets. It is a dysfunctional franchise.
Absolutely.
They have too many holes to fix. People don't believe in Cam Ward for whatever reason. Maybe they don't have the offensive line's not good enough for him to sit back in the pocket and actually make the plays. But he hasn't proven himself to be the franchise quarterback. So you've got that. You've got the defense. You've got all of these things. And I don't think Robert Salah at this moment has the experience to overhaul a whole team. If it was like 1 or 2 things, you had a good quarterback, you had a reasonable offense, you need to work on the defense, and I think he can work with it. But I think this is a little bit too much to chew for him, personally. I think they would have benefited from a John Harbaugh type coach, someone who can look at the whole organization and make changes on the whole side. But I think he may be headed for the same issue like he had with the Jets. It's just too dysfunctional right now.
Right. Well said. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I think that Robert Salah, he can coach. This I believe is an even bigger challenge than what he had in New York when he had Aaron Rodgers, who went down, and missed a full year. But all the situations and the drama and the dysfunctionality in New York, and now you go into another situation. I don't think it's going to be very fruitful for him. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I like Robert Salah. The man can coach. Tennessee needs to get back to their winning ways. When they had Mike Vrabel, the Titans were a very highly respected franchise, very reputable organization. I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that they made when they canned Mike Vrabel and they basically got rid of him. And they may never say it publicly, right? But I think behind closed doors, they put their foot in their mouth. And it is what it is. So shout out to Tennessee. Shout out to Robert Salah, Harbaugh, all the new coaches that got opportunities, and Stefanski in the ATL. We'll see how it plays out. There's still some vacancies left to be filled. The rumor mill has it Brian Daboll, who's from upstate New York, may be looking to get interviewed by the Bills. They've got a vacancy there. Pittsburgh has got a vacancy. There's still some holes that need to be filled. Who's going to be the next coach in Vegas with the Raiders? That remains to be seen. But nonetheless, episode 68 is in the books. Make sure you tap in and follow your boy on the gram at Mack B, MackB as in boy, _, at Sports Hop Media, all one word. And please hit that like and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate the love here at Sports Hop. I want to say thank you for all the love. I'm out. It's your boy Mack B. Solomon. Hello. Thanks for watching Sports Hop. For all the latest news on hip hop and sports, subscribe here and keep it locked. It's your boy Mack B.